our first step was to take this is the 12 side, and then the long area here is 18. And we just folded the paper in half, and we creased it right at the middle here. And then from the middle, right at our fold, so I'm gonna bring it up into the picture plane. My finger's right here on the very middle, right at the fold. I'm touching the fold, and then I put my index finger from side to side right in the center. And directly to the right of the center, about a finger, I put just a really small number 1 as a guideline. So that was our first steps. Now we're coming up to the right-hand corner. And this is where the large nose is going to be drawn in. So we want to come just a little bit from this edge, probably about 2 fingers over. I'm just going to come down a little bit, and on this side I'm coming in just a hair. So it's almost touching this, and I'm going to just make this into a nice, pretty large size circle shape right in here. And it's okay if it's not perfectly formed. So just a circle shape here, and that's going to be the large nose. The nose obviously is exaggerated, okay? Now from here, we're going to take, and we're going to come a little bit from the edge, and I'm just going to do a gentle curve right to this line. So watch me first. So I'm coming off of this curve. I don't want to come too close to the edge here. I want to give this rounded nose shape here. So I'm coming down, not in the very center, just over to the right a little bit, and I'm going to swoop down with a little bit of a curve. Okay, so that's part of the head. From my center, here's my very middle, I'm going to jump up the width of a hand, so it's the thickest part of your hand. So if you notice, I take my hand, I place it horizontal, and I line it up to the center, and I'm going to put a dot right here. So here's the center. It went up the width of a hand, and it's a dot. Here, I'm going to turn this into a nice circular eye shape. So a circular eye. It's going to be about 2 fingers wide. So if you take your fingers, it's wider than 2 fingers.
Oh, it's way.
Then I'm going to come down. This is diagonally down. So just a curve diagonally down. And this one's just going to curve up. Because I want this eye to be pointing diagonally up. I'm going to come around now, and it's almost like I'm curving around like a donut. I call this a donut when I make a line that mimics the other line. It's almost like a concentric circle, but I'm not continuing my circle above. This forms the eyelid right here. So this is the eyelid, and then I have the eye color. This part is the black of the eye, the pupil. In this side, I'm going to do, inside the pupil, I'm going to do 2 horizontal lines. And then I'm going to curve, this is curving in toward the left, curving into the left. This will form the white highlight of the eye. Now, eventually, we will paint this black in, so that will be solid. Let me show you on this deer. This is a different composition, but you see how it's the reflection, the light reflection in the center. That's what we're forming. So this will get colored in or painted in black, actually. From here, we're just going to make a curve right to the edge here, and then I'm curving around. Now, if you need to extend this down, you can. You want this to be a nice curved line here. Okay, now from here, we're going to kind of mimic this curve. I'm skipping up at least 2 fingers wide, but watch me first. So watch so you know the proportions. I'm going to start here. So from the edge, I'm just jumping over, but don't do it yet. Watch me do the whole thing. And I'm going to mimic this curve here. So this curve I'm copying, and I'm coming in, and then I'm gracefully opposite now. I'm curving up now. Then I'm going to curve it to the nose. So it's a graceful curve down, then around this area. You want it to just blend in nicely. You don't want it to be too drastic.
Oh my God.
Now from this area, this is just going to give a little bit of fur texture here. So I'm just going to put a few little lines here showing the edge of his head. Now we want the ear to line up with this. So I'm going to come diagonally toward the edge of the page. So from the eye, come diagonally down to the edge. Now here's the center of my page.
Let's make sure it's in the picture here.
So ear, and then here's my edge of my page, so I'm coming right over. So this is the halfway point, my fold. Eye, and then right over to here. I'm going to start at this point, and I'm going to come up and curve in. So I'm coming up diagonal and curving. If you want to watch me do the whole ear first, then curve around. This is almost a U curve, and then this will be inside the ear. So my finger was at the halfway fold. I did a diagonal line and came over horizontal. Then this is curve up and around. This comes together but doesn't touch, you see, for the ear. The ear is kind of flopping back. Now you can continue the head down to meet the ear. So we have a nice little ear with this beautiful head shape to the corner.
Now in this area, all the way to the corner here,
this is the antlers. Now we don't want our antlers coming off above our eyeballs. We want them coming back in here. So we're going to do right in front of the ear, directly above it, we're going to come over and right to the edge of the page. That'll be one antler set. We're going to come back down. It's almost like you're tracing around a finger. And then we're going to make some of the branches in the antlers. So just come up. So this almost looks like the letter V. Come around, back down. But look, leave a space. It's the same space, equal space. Equal distance between here and here. And then make as many of these little nodules as you can fit in. You probably only need a few. Can fit in a few actually. So there's one set of antlers. Now we'll make the other set of antlers here. So I'm going to come off the head. This one I'll make a little bit longer. So I'm just curving this up. This will be on the other side. Curve it down and then mimic the same curves. So you came up with a V. See how it forms a letter V? Come around. Over. Now I did it straight over. Just kind of mimic what you made. So if you made 3 of them, make 3. So there's my other antler. Now I'm not going to put the other little piece of ear in. I think it'll just look awkward. The ear that's in the back here. So I'm going to leave that off. And now we're going to slide the paper up so that we can get the neck in. Where the ear starts curving in, right as it starts curving up, almost at my center page here, this is my center page, I'm going to come down. This is vertically down. And then I'm using the whole page, so I want to come all the way to this bottom corner. Actually, I'm going to come over a little bit. This is where we'll have our name. So I'm just going to slightly curve over. And this is where I have my students write their name, right in here. So we came down vertically, slightly over. Now we're going to give the front of the... So I'm at my very center right here. This is the dead center of the page. From top, bottom, side, side. There's my middle. So I'm going to go over a little bit from the middle. I'm going to do a slight horizontal down. And then I'm going to come out diagonally, down, down. It's slightly diagonal, then I'm kind of slightly coming straight to him, to the bottom. The reindeer is looking up. Now we're going to do a little bit of the tummy area. Just kind of, if you want to just do it sketchy, you can kind of come out with your line And this area will be lighter, the lighter fur and then the darker fur. Now we're gonna exaggerate the eye. So I'm bringing him over here and I'm gonna make a line come around the eye. I'm just gonna kind of mimic, and you can do it, if you wanna do it sketchy, you can, or you can just draw straight. This is gonna be the lighter fur that comes around the eye. So we paint this lighter, either a tan or leave it white, and then this is the brown, so it highlights the eye. Now we want to make this kind of a fantasy magical picture, so we're going to put in some Christmas lights or orbs or snow or snowballs. So we're going to do circles and we're going to leave spaces. Let me show you on this one. The deer is pointing down, but you see how I have them as big as my fingertip, and then we want to leave them, you know, about 3 or 4 fingers apart, quite a bit of a distance apart. So I'm going to just do some of these small orbs of color. These will be left white, and then you'll have a glow of color around it, but about 3 or 4 fingers apart. And don't put them in a straight line because that'll look artificial. So I'm kind of just putting them off. And you don't have to have a ton of them, just enough to give a little bit of extra pattern or color to the background. And it depends on what you want to do with this. Some kids are going to make it, these are going to be Christmas lights, so the orb that's going to be glowing around this light will be colors like purple or green. And others that want to make it snowballs, this can just be the snow. Or others may want it to be white lights, so this will just be a yellow glow around this. So decide your composition for that, and then once you're done, we are done the sketch for today. So we cap our Sharpies and put them in the tray. And here are some student examples after the lesson, and this was after 50 minutes. We drew the picture and then they had about 20 minutes left over to start their paintings. Now the following week we will finish painting, and then we will add some glitter and some sparkle to this. So I hope you enjoy the lesson, and if you have not already, go ahead and subscribe. If you want to do this with younger students, I have another video for younger students as well.